Thanksgiving's over. Merry Christmas. Time to steal your shit.
Merry Christmas. Thaw out Mariah Carey. Unwrap the stockings. And go get off the naughty list by being good at the last minute and having that count. It is the time of the season. We here at the DCOM Duo would like to wish you a very merry Thanksgiving.
I just want you for my own. Shaggy Bone.
You should get the kazoo.
No. Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I'm Benji.
I'm Kelsey.
And we're the DCOM Duo
Podcast.
Yes, this is our podcast. And today we are covering the most recent Disney Channel original movie as the time of this recording.
It just came out.
It came out 2 days ago when we're recording this.
It came out less than a week by the time this releases.
Yes. So that's a good explanation on that.
Yeah.
The Naughty Nine is the newest DCOM.
That it is.
It just came out and we have words to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to do our whole casual, normal format of talking about the cast and everyone for a little bit and then talking about the movie. But, like, it exists.
Yeah, this is our official review.
And in one word, we think this movie is...
Good.
We didn't coordinate that or anything, but, like...
It's good.
It's good. Is it spectacular? Probably not. Would I call it a Christmas classic? Probably not.
No, but I don't mind it as like a Christmas movie.
It's an easy throw on.
Yeah, I'm not even like a huge Christmas movie fan, but I enjoyed this one.
Something that I noticed about this movie that I just kind of want to say, I feel like, especially compared to other DCOMs, maybe not necessarily other Christmas DCOMs, but just DCOMs in general, this is aimed at a younger audience than the last few have been.
Yeah, the other few have felt more mature.
The other few have felt like they're targeting like an early high school, late middle. And this one seems like it's targeting elementary school kids.
More so, yeah. Yeah. It's like more accessible for younger kids.
Which means it's a different audience. Everything about like the whole movie, what they can and can't do is going to be different. Mm-hmm. Like the type of humor and type of everything's different. So gotta just grade it on that scale as well.
Yeah. No, Prom Pact and Summer Party were definitely more mature.
They're more, it's Prom Pact especially.
Yeah, Prom Pact especially, yeah.
But yeah, the Prom Pact is like for people about to go into college. This movie you can watch in 3rd grade and
enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have fan mail.
No.
If you have any thoughts on any DCOM, especially the Naughty Nine, you can email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get into it. You want to start off the factos?
Sure. We comboed the factos, and by combos, I mean Kelsey did like 80% of them.
We switched off. I don't know.
Yeah. But regardless, this DCOM, as we mentioned, released 2 days before filming, which we're filming on November 24th. I'm going to let you do the math. This is 2023.
It was November 22nd.
Oh,
I can't take it.
It is the 116th DCOM.
So if you're wondering how many DCOMs exist, it's that plus maybe one for High School Musical 3.
There's a lot of different arguments for what a DCOM is. I still plan to someday make like a whole video considering what we consider a DCOM versus all the possible fake DCOMs that can be counted. Because there's films that are definitely like 16 Wishes, for instance.
Yeah, not a DCOM.
Are not a DCOM that really feel like a DCOM.
Gosh, doesn't it feel like a DCOM? It's not, sorry.
But officially for this podcast reasons, it is the 116th DCOM. It's the 117th release that exists that we will be doing a review on because we're doing one on High School Musical 3, which definitely officially is not a DCOM.
Right.
But it's a sequel to 2 DCOMs, so we're just going to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that to continue. The director is Alberto Belli. He has done a couple of like indie films that have gotten some like award praise at indie film festivals, mostly short films. But otherwise, it was just a bunch of stuff I've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing really to talk about.
Cool.
A lot of stuff, especially when this is a movie that came out 2 days ago, featuring very much child actors as the focus. There's not going to be a lot of credits for a lot of these people.
No, and like, yeah, I did the cast, so when we're gonna go through this, and just know that these are literal children.
Yep.
So they have their whole careers in front of them. A lot of them don't have a lot of credits, which just makes sense because they haven't been alive that long.
Yeah.
So our main character, by the way, the order I'm doing this, I just copied the order from Wikipedia. So this is the order of importance according to Wikipedia, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Our main character, Andy Steele, is played by Winslow Fegley. Only thing I recognize that he's in is Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
You know if he was a big role in that?
Nope.
But because that was a movie, Shawn Mendes went la 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 la.
La 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 la. That was Shawn Mendes. I've not seen Lyle Lyle Crocodile. But he apparently was in it. So good for you, Winslow. His friend in the movie, Dulce Gutierrez. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. She is played by Camila Rodriguez. She has like very little credits, but I saw she was in one episode of Station 19. Hell
And
yeah.
that's a show that Kelsey watches.
I do watch it. That's the Grey's Anatomy spinoff. And
one of them.
One of them. The
you
one
watch
that's airing.
all of them.
There's only one other one.
So you watch all of them.
Yeah.
I feel like I should say this just now. I feel like all the kid actors actually did pretty well.
They did.
I don't think there was a standout other than maybe John Anthony.
I loved him.
But I feel like they all were generically good.
Yeah, I didn't have any complaints.
Normally there's a kid actor that will stick out. I'm like, I'm not feeling that performance.
Yeah, there's some definitely older DCOMs where I'm like, that's a horrible kid actor. All these kid actors were good.
They did their roles.
There's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
Next, the one adult on the team, Bruno, is played by Derek Theller. He had a fair amount of credits, nothing like super big. His biggest credit was the show Baby Daddy. It was like a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
I saw commercials for it. Never watched it, but he's in that. He's like a main role in that.
Gotcha.
John Anthony, of course, is played by Derek McCabe. He has a fair bit of credits. Biggest one I saw was A Wrinkle in Time.
Is that like the new
one? Yeah. I mean, you gotta assume it's the new one because these are children. I don't know how big he was in that. I never watched the movie. He was also in 20 episodes of an Apple TV show called Home Before Dark. So that seemed pretty relevant.
I mean, yeah, that 20 episode run as a kid actor is probably a big deal for an Apple TV show. They don't have that many Apple TV shows.
They don't.
So, yeah, he's probably connected to this. I would not be surprised to see Derek McCabe turn into a little bit of something. It felt like he had the best performance out of the kids. He was great.
I thought he did awesome. Rose Wingert is played by Clara Stack. She's only done one episode, like roles of a few TV shows. The one I recognized was she was in Hawkeye, one episode of Hawkeye as Little Kate Bishop. So that's cool.
Just the classic play a young character of a major character.
Yeah, and like I think it was like the opening scene of Hawkeye, if I remember.
It would make sense. It's a baby, basically. Not real baby, but yeah.
Cool. Louis Sobong is played by Anthony Ju. And the only 2 credits he has on his IMDb is one episode of New Amsterdam and one episode of Bossy Bear, which looked like some animated kids show.
Is that like a Masha and the Bear type thing?
I have no idea.
Well, good for Louis Sabong, or no, Anthony Ju. That was the character's name.
Yeah.
Louis Sabong. Good for him that he got a bigger role.
Yep. Albert Rees is played by Aiden Elijah, and he didn't have anything I recognize, but he has 13 credits on IMDb, so he does small stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Next, we have Ha-Yoon Siu is played by Imogen Cohen. She was in one episode of Bunked, which is a Disney show.
Okay, so there's a connection there.
And then the next biggest thing I saw was 12 episodes of The Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odder.
Is that like a spin-off of Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah, I watched the trailer for this. It was like a live action sitcom with the animated Cosmo and Wanda granting them wishes. Like they're still fully 2D animated, just
same animation style and everything.
Yeah,
interesting,
but like worse, right? Because they're also in the real world, and it just doesn't look as good. Like the animations of their like mouths speaking looked bad, at least in the trailer. And it just looked really bad and cheesy.
Yeah, I like the Fairly Odd Parents, the original run.
Did it went too long, didn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Next we have Laurel Steele, is played by Madeline Kellum. She's in nothing I recognize, just some like low budget movies.
So that is our Naughty Nine. And there's one other person, the Naughty 10.
One more important character here. It is, of course, Santa Claus. Is played by the Danny Glover.
Yeah, they spent their whole budget getting Danny. Or more accurately, probably, Danny Glover was in a Disney building and said, hey, we want like a cameo role for Santa. You want to come in and fill 2 scenes?
Yeah. When I say the Danny Glover as if I like really know who he is.
He's a big deal.
I know he is, but I don't really know it. But I can tell you what I recognized that I thought was important from his filmography. Lethal Weapon, like all of those.
The whole series.
The color purple seemed big. Saw, the original Saw. Dream Girls, Angels in the Outfield, and of course the Shaggy Dog. Hello.
That's the one where the dog stands up and punches a guy.
I don't think so, because there's the one from 2006. I think that's the Tim Allen one. It's not the one where he punches.
That's the only thing I know about the Shaggy Dog is the guy in the dog costume that stands up and punches a guy.
That is pretty funny. I don't think it was that one. And finally, he was in the movie Barnyard as Miles the Mule.
Was he not in the show?
It didn't say.
So probably not.
Probably not.
They probably recast.
You think
Danny Glover's not going to sit for a Nickelodeon show? No.
But yeah. So, yeah, that is our cast.
Yeah, it's Mr. Santa Claus. Yeah, again, cast overall pretty good. Not really much to say about him.
No complaints for any of the performances, honestly.
Well, like some of them were not perfect or anything, but they're all like kid actors with good potential, I think.
Yeah.
The casting did a good job.
Yeah.
Any problems they had with this film were not acting related.
Yeah.
So good job on casting, good job on the actors. I did the fun facts for this. I found more stuff than I expected. First off, on the poster, the tagline is "Rebels with a clause," which I think is very funny.
So stupid.
Not rebels with a cause.
Rebels with a clause, like Santa Claus.
Yes. This is only the 5th ever DCOM released in November, which is just kind of crazy because there's 116 of them. How have there only been 5 released in November?
No, is November just a dead month? Well, they always release in like
they
October.
Release a Halloween one.
Yeah.
And if they're going to do a Christmas one, that would probably be in December.
Yeah, instead of Thanksgiving week. I think they just really want their Christmas movies to be there for like all of December.
Yeah. And we live like in a society where Christmas has been moving up and up throughout our whole history. Now it is just basically the day after Thanksgiving is Christmas season.
Yeah.
And especially in 2023, Thanksgiving was early this year, like month-wise.
Yeah, it was.
So all of that to say, there's a lot of Christmas stuff that's going to be extra extended this year.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing they wanted, hey, we have this DCOM ready. Let's get it out so it's on Disney Plus as soon as possible.
But you know what's weird too is that they premiered it the day before Thanksgiving.
Well,
on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Because they want it on Disney Plus by, I guess, Thanksgiving.
Eve, probably.
Yeah. So they release it Wednesday. They premiered it.
When we were at my family's Thanksgiving yesterday, as we were leaving, my sister-in-law put on a Christmas movie.
She was so excited. She's like, yay, it's officially Christmas.
Yeah.
It was funny.
So that should explain that part. Like, I think that makes sense for Disney. It is the first Disney Channel original movie to premiere on a Wednesday. that makes complete sense to me because they've never done a Thanksgiving-ish one before. We just explained why they done, and they don't want to do it on Black Friday because that's just a little
I
weird.
feel like that makes more sense to me though.
It would make sense. They want this to be something you can watch on Thanksgiving, but you don't want to release it Thanksgiving Day because no one's going to watch it live. So
Yeah,
the
so they did
Wednesday
the
makes
live
sense.
premiere Wednesday. Kids are just off for school. They have the long
Yep.
weekend. Maybe they'll watch a Christmas DCOM, I guess. It's very Christmas and like this it's the day before Thanksgiving, so I still disagree, but
Yeah. I also think they could have easily let this go for another week and wait for that, but also they probably have other Christmas stuff planned on the Disney Plus service and everything else. So get this one out early.
it's just weird they're not prioritizing this movie.
Yeah.
Like they just don't care. It seemed like the movie had a pretty big budget.
For
Like
a,
the
for a decon,
quality,
absolutely.
yeah,
But I think that's also just the Disney Plus era
has bigger
of
budget. Yeah.
decoms.
Like Prom Pact,
Yeah.
Slumber Party, you could tell they had a bigger budget.
Yeah. Next, and my final fun fact, just something someone on IMDb noticed. I didn't fact check this, but this actually is pretty cool if it's true. There are two schools in the film, like an elementary school at the beginning and a middle school at the end, and they're both named after families in famous Christmas movies. It's McAllister Elementary, after the McAllister family of Home Alone,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
And then it was Griswold Middle School after the family in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's the Griswold family.
That's cool.
So it's a fun little like Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch. I think that was cool.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
Give me that DPD.
Mischievous fifth grader Andy finds himself without a present from Santa on Christmas morning. Realizing he must have landed on the naughty list and feeling unfairly maligned, Andy pulls together a team of 8 other naughty listers to help him execute an elaborate heist in Santa's village at the North Pole to get the presents they feel they deserve. Short and sweet, that's exactly what the movie is.
Better than the 2000s era when they would just blatantly get facts wrong.
Yeah.
It's not Martin's birthday.
They've cleaned up their act. You ready to jump in the movie?
I am ready to
Naughty
Can of
Nine.
Worms the movie.
Why Can of Worms?
Because that's what we recorded right before this.
All right. We open up. It doesn't say Disney Channel original movie anymore. It says a Disney original movie.
There is definitely an argument to be made that there's no such thing as a Disney Channel original movie anymore.
Then why are we even doing this?
It's a good question. I still would consider this, but it doesn't say channel anymore. And it hasn't for the last couple.
It premiered on Disney Channel.
That's why I'm still cool with it.
And
But doesn't matter if it premiered there if it was built for another service. I still think it does. They're still saying like
these count.
I think so. So
I hope so. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time, aren't we?
yep, watching kids movies and recording a podcast for our loyal viewers.
Yeah. So then there's like some Christmas light like animations, like bulbs. And it goes into the title card. I'm like, damn, look at that animation budget.
You wrote down that this is a big budget. I like it's still not.
It's is though compared to other DComs.
But like compared to just movies of the time, you gotta also remember CGI technology is getting cheaper.
Okay. Well, it looks like better to me than other DComs for sure. Like I guess just older ones. Which is also part of the time. But like even if you look like 5 years ago, I think these just look way better. I think they care more because they're going on Disney Plus.
I think so too. Since more people are going to be watching it, they want it to be better, so more people keep their Disney Plus subscriptions.
Yeah. We like transition into it says December, and then it transitions to a little cat calendar, which I thought was cute.
They really set it up as if it's going to change months through the movie.
And it doesn't. It doesn't.
They show December like it's going to be like, we're going to go through like a full year of them planning a heist or something. Nope.
As if we couldn't figure out it was freaking December. Like it's literally Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it transitioned into the calendar, which they could have just shown the calendar instead of showing December on a blank screen, you know? So then we get to the principal's office,
Mhm.
right? And Andy's in trouble. Our main character, Andy, is there. Apparently he lit the whole lab on fire. Like every single lab station's on fire. And he's like, I don't know how it happened.
He probably knows how it happens. As we learn through this movie, he knows a lot, and
Yeah,
he's
so
got a
this whole
good
thing is a
good angle of
plan.
everything going on.
So this whole thing is a plan. Like he wanted to get into the principal's office is what we're gonna learn in like 10 minutes because they're like doing a heist right
Mhm.
now. Um, and he's such a little troublemaker, isn't he? So he like starts to cry and he's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. And she fully falls for it. And then she tells him, like, use this winter break as a reset and we can just put it all behind us. Just be better next semester. Like, don't you want to do something better? And he's like, yeah, okay. So then Andy leaves the office. His friend Dolce is there to meet him in the hall. And we learn that Andy fully took the principal's keys from her
Andy
pocket.
absolutely played the principal in this
Oh,
whole
100%.
conversation.
And I guess they do jobs like this all the time. Like, they just steal shit.
This is, oh, I feel like we should say this at some point. This is full on a parody slash like children's reimagining of the Ocean's movies.
Yes.
Specifically,
100%.
I would say like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I haven't seen, but
yeah, it's just it is your classic heist movie and their classic like super team of specialists who are going to like each help with their own type of heist. And guess what? This is your main duo here of like the planners and the go-getters.
yeah, I compare it a lot to the book Swindle, which I read as a kid, which is probably just also a direct parody of
I think just
Ocean's
all heist
11.
movies are pretty similar in some sort of
Yeah,
way.
I
It's
love
a genre.
Swindle. Swindle was awesome because he like found a really rare baseball card and got swindled out of like the price, and then they go and like steal it back.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I
There's a
remember it.
dog on the cover. That's why I like bought it.
You're
Um,
very predictable. That
like
was expected to be a cat actually for you.
dogs.
Mhm.
Um, and there's of course the animal whisperer girl, which they have in this movie too. Is that just common? Like there's always some kind of animal they have to get by.
Well, I mean, some have it. That's not in the oceans, but like it's in
It
other
makes sense for
heights. So
kids
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So literally Dolce and Annie are like doing a heist right now. Um, their plan is to steal their confiscated stuff. So all the stuff that's like in the principal's office that was confiscated by all the kids that are naughty. Um, and so like a lot of the kids in the school are in like I think it's a lunchroom or some kind of
It's they're in an
auditorium.
auditorium watching.
An old Christmas movie. I
Yeah,
don't even know what it was.
it looked boring, black and white. It wasn't a Wonderful Life.
Usually in my schools, they'd put on like Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, that would work. You could put on like a more put on like Christmas again. That would be kind of
That would
funny.
have been awesome if they were watching Christmas again. Like that'd be a good shout out to their own movie.
But whatever.
Whatever. Um Andy like recorded the principal in his conversation and the principal is saying like it's the last few days before winter break. You ain't got to do nothing here and you still are misbehaving
And
pretty much.
somehow he edited that combo into like even more. It was
Yeah,
to be
he cut
even.
it.
What she's saying is basically what he pretends she says because he puts this on the TV.
He has it say like go home early
Yeah,
basically.
even though that's not exactly what she was saying, but like that's more or less what she was saying.
That's not what she told Andy to do, but he cut it together to make it say like go home early everybody. And you can tell it's edited, but the kids don't care. They're like, yes, because he plays it on the projector for all of them.
Mhm.
So the kids start running out to like leave, which is so unsafe. Like, what the heck? But I guess so. They're in elementary school. He's in fifth grade. He's like the oldest grade at the school.
Mhm.
So he's like, I can manipulate these kids.
I mean, yeah, I feel like whenever you're the highest level of the class, you're like, all these people are so young.
Yeah.
Their brains are jelly.
Like
I can do whatever I want.
you're there with 6-year-olds,
Yep.
literally, and you're like 11,
You
12.
feel what? That's like half your life
Yeah, literally.
of experience you have over them.
So the principal catches Andy and Dolce with a cart because they have all the stolen stuff on the carts in like a red bag. And then she opens the bag and there's cookies inside. And he's like, yeah, I was bringing the cookies for the staff.
And why was he going in the direction away?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but it was a very clever ploy of
It
him.
was because Dolce's like, what? And we get a little flashback that Andy switched the bag with a bag of cookies because he like foresaw this.
Andy is like a savant at this.
He's so good.
It is something they never fully explain, but he knows exactly what buttons to press and what like things to do. I mean, you kind of need that to be able to take down Santa Claus, but we'll get to that.
So Dolce's like, where's the bag then? Where's all our stuff? And he's like, it's gonna be carried out for us. And it's in one of the garbage bins, and the janitor hauls it outside. It's like insane that he figured out that that's what was gonna happen.
He didn't. It's just really funny because on a higher stakes like heist thing, this would be a great way to get past security. You have someone else take it out for you.
Yeah.
But it's like at a school where they could have just taken it out after and just walked out with the bag and been fine.
Well, now it's like no suspicion at all. They're just going through the trash now, which is kind of weird. But remember in Hairspray when she's hiding in the big hairspray container and they use her as a ram to get back into the room?
Remember in Hounded when the two kids put their stuff on a dumpster and then walked away from it and then the dumpster took it? That was funny.
That's funny. Well, listen to our Hounded episode. All right, so out by the garbage with all their stuff, they're giving the kids back their confiscated stuff. Well, guess what? They're not just giving it back, they're selling it back.
Again, these are great hustlers.
They're assholes with their.
Oh, like, yeah. Asshole and hustler are often related.
Like, yeah, I'll get your stuff back if you give me like $20 for it. Like,
it was $5. I think it may have been per person different.
Probably in what it is. And these are like elementary kids. Come on.
How did they all have this much money?
They probably would have gotten their stuff back. Maybe not for the break. So if they want it for the winter break, they have to pay Andy for it. We meet Albert, who says he invented chill. And he's just,
Albert's got a lot of confidence to him, a lot of swagger.
He really does. Also, we meet Lewis, who's not chill. Lewis has like conspiracy theories, but we'll get to that later. So then they're charging their kids for the stuff, and Albert's like, I don't have any money. I'm just a little kid.
I don't have this many dollars, and holds up like 6.
Yeah, I don't have that many dollars. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's so cute.
That's just the classic puppy dog eyes.
Like Puss in Boots.
It is, yeah. This is something not every, but like a lot of films have done before. Where a lot of just easy, like, but me, please.
Well, me.
So cute. Yeah, yes. Just it's a Kevin James.
So they just give him his slingshot for free back because he's so cute.
And he just says, thanks, sucker.
Suckers. Like, he immediately turns it off.
He easily just said thank you and walked away and been able to get away with it in the future.
I don't know why he doesn't just keep up the persona that he's a sweet little kid. Like, he shows them immediately that he's not nice.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe why he's naughty. Spoiler alert.
It's because the movie needed to show us that he's doing it to manipulate them specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now Annie and Dolce are walking home. Dolce says, I can't believe you blew your cut of the money for a game you don't even own the console for. And she's like, you know, your parents probably aren't going to buy it for you because it's so expensive. And Andy says, that's why I asked Santa for it a week ago. And she's like, oh, a backup plan. Like, they fully believe in Santa Claus, which is fine. Like, I don't think they're too old to believe in Santa Claus. But they're really banking that they're going to get what they want. He bought a video game for a console he doesn't have. Like, that's
very bold.
That's very, very bold. Dolce, we learn, wants an archery set from Santa. And also she praises Andy for the like cookie swap thing. Dolce's like, are you sure we did a good thing that we like took the stuff? And he's like, yeah, Andy says we did a good thing because all we did was take the stuff back that was taken away from kids and we returned it to their owners. And I'm sitting here like, But you made them pay you for it.
Yeah, but I guess if the concept is, hey, you have the chance to get it back, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, even though no, they're not being Robin Hood.
No, they're not. I think his mindset though is like the ends justify the means.
Yep.
Like, I'm only stealing things that were stolen in the first place.
Yeah, and it's going to be cheaper to replace it by paying them than apparently the teachers never would have given the stuff back.
Yeah, we're gonna see this mindset come back of like his reasoning for why he goes and robs Santa.
Andy's moral code is just a little psychopathic in terms of, hey, as long as I don't get away with it, or as long as I get away with it, obviously it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Also, like, because I can get away with it means I should.
Yeah, he's like, I can get away with it. Also, I was entitled to this in the first place.
Yes. That's a big thing. He has entitlement issues.
Yeah. And then the two do a very long secret handshake.
It is quite long.
It is. And then they go home and they live right across the street from each other. That was really cute. A lot of times in this movie, I was turning to Benji like,
yeah, we watched this. This is, I think, the first time in the podcast history where we watched the film and are recording on the same day.
Yeah, and a new film that we've never seen before. Yeah.
So Kelsey was watching this, and we're watching this in the morning, in the AM, and I think her just like, everything is just like, oh, you got extra emotional for everything.
I did. Cool, and then they say Merry Christmas, and they go to their own houses. Except Dolce's door is locked, and she tries to knock, but nobody answers. So she's like locked outside of her house. Poor Dolce. So then we go back to Andy's house, and it's at dinner, and we meet his sister Laurel. And Laurel says, "How was school today, Andy?" And Andy says, "School was fine, Laurel." And
Laurel says, "Well, my friend told me that her friend told me that her friend told, like a long string of chain.
That their little brother said that you were sent to the principal's office."
First off, if all that's the only thing she's got as dirt, that's not as good as all the heist stuff that he did. He's not in trouble for any of that.
She just wants the parents to know that he was sent to the principal's office because apparently the principal didn't tell the parents that happened. I feel like that's not how that works. Don't the principals always tell the parents?
Yep.
Whatever, doesn't matter. And the parents are like, "What the heck? You're at the principal's office?" And Andy says, "Yeah, I was helping them with the Wi-Fi."
The parents are oblivious.
The parents are like, "Oh my gosh, you helped them with the Wi-Fi." And Laurel's like, "What the hell, you believe it?" And the dad's like, "He helps us with the Wi-Fi." Laurel is pissed, and I would be too.
And I mean, Andy just knows the right buttons to press to get everyone to believe him.
He's such a spoiled brat.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. That night they're getting ready for bed, and Laurel's like, "Hey, Andy, you're full of shit." And Andy's like, "You trying to like get me in trouble? You're just wasting your time, and also you're a loser."
Who got him?
He's like, "I respect you trying to bust me, but you're never gonna beat me. I'm too good."
He's really full of himself.
He's also really good.
He is. I fully agree. Everything he says is not incorrect, but he's also just very full of himself.
He very much is. Which in all of these like heist stories, especially the kid ones, the leader has to be full of themselves because they're the ones that get away with it. They're the masterminds, you know. They gotta have confidence. Laurel says, "You don't get caught, but you still do bad things. One day it'll all blow up, and I'm gonna laugh at you." Then we get like a 2-second scene of Andy hearing his parents talking about how a World Express pilot thinks a flying reindeer clipped his wing. And they're like, the dent in the plane looked like hoof prints.
Whoa.
What the hell? This actually comes back. I was so confused at first. Why?
I think it was just trying to hint like, hey, Santa is real.
Santa is real, and Andy uses this information later.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now it's Christmas morning. Everybody get up. It's Christmas morning. And it's time to open up the presents. And you can see the parents are like so tired and drinking their coffee while their kids open presents. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly
how Christmas is.
Which is funny. Andy got a lot of tiny blocks, which is the equivalent of Legos in this world. Guess they couldn't use Legos in the movie. I don't know. And Laurel got a leotard for gymnastics, and the parents are kind of whispering to themselves. They're like, I thought we weren't going to get her the leotard until she's actually on the team. She's not even on the team.
No, it's a state leotard. Like,
yeah.
She needs to do better, but that's what she asked for Santa, and Santa got it for her.
Yeah, and because the parents are like, who got that for you? What does it say? And she looks at the tag and it says from Santa. And they're like, oh, from Santa. Was it your mom? Like, whisper to each other. So the parents don't believe in Santa.
This is a universe where adults don't believe in Santa.
Which is like every Christmas movie, pretty much.
Which is always weird when Santa does exist.
Yeah.
There's no like mist or anything that makes it think that the parents bought the Santa gifts.
Yeah, a lot of movies just don't explain.
This one at least does a little in terms of the parents are confused, but it's not enough to explain anything.
Yeah, I guess it's just about as much as other Christmas movies do, where sometimes the parents are like, where did that come from?
I don't know. It's not important. It should be important. You should know if you need to like thank your mom.
Yeah. Andy does not have a gift from Santa. It's not there. Laurel says it's because you're naughty. And Dad goes, he's not naughty.
He's definitely naughty. He just lies really well.
But then Andy's like, if I'm not naughty, then why don't I have a gift from Santa? And then the parents are like, well, we gotta go make breakfast. Like, they just don't have an explanation. And they think it was like the grandma that got it, but they're like, why would she get Laurel a present and not Andy? Like, what's going on? And Laurel's like, remember when I said I was gonna laugh at you? Well, now I'm laughing. Shit caught up to you, boy. And then we get a clip of Dolce's family. Guess what? He has 2 gay dads.
What? We have another gay.
Is that 3 movies in a row? Did Prom Pact have gay dads?
Prom Pact had gay kids.
They did. That was it.
I don't remember any gay dads.
That's fair. But they had gay kids. And Christmas Again had a gay couple. It's never lesbians.
It's never. We were talking about this. It's always the female friend has gay dads.
Yeah.
It's never.
Because in Under Wraps, the female friend had 2 gay dads.
In Christmas Again, it was gay uncles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never like, does Disney just think lesbians are fake?
I know. I think in their minds, like 2 men are more acceptable right now than 2 women being together.
Which is kind of weird because I don't even think that's true. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like generically, maybe I'm wrong about this. Generically, I would argue the other.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not gay or lesbian or bi or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing.
Neither am I.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So we're not really the ones to talk about it at all.
Yeah, but we're doing it anyways.
We're just, I don't know, it's just something we noticed that it's never the lesbians, it's always the gay men. Which, I mean, hey, it's cool that she has 2 dads. That's cool. But where are the 2 moms?
Basically, what's interesting about this is Under Wraps 2021 was the first mention of like any
like same-sex parents.
Yes. And every film since then has had a mention of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making up for lost time by having everyone have one.
Yeah.
I guess Zombie 3 did not. That's the one sentence that has not.
Yeah. But also like diversity in casting, I think lately they've been doing a really good job.
Oh, I know. Zombie 3 did have some LGBT themes. Never mind.
Did.
Completely.
We keep forgetting.
We'll get to that when we get to Zombie 3. This is probably not what people tuned into this podcast to listen to.
Yeah. But anyway, I was saying like diversity, like racial diversity has also been really good lately, I think, in my opinion, as a white girl who like is stupid. My opinion is I think they're doing a good job. So, next, like Dolce and Andy call each other because they're like, what the heck, Santa stiffed us. Like, where's our presents? This is the first year they're stiffed. So I guess it's the first year they've really been naughty. Maybe they just started stealing shit.
Yeah.
I would believe that. And they're like, oh my God, it's the naughty list. So they go to
Dun
Lewis's
dun
house.
dun.
Lewis has all these conspiracies about Santa on the naughty list.
Notably, Lewis is not naughty.
No, and they talk about that later. Um, he's like, Christmas is all about mind control because every country, well, a lot of countries, has their own version of Santa where it like basically tricks kids into being nice.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not a trick because Santa's real in this universe, but like he's like, you
Well,
gotta
it's
make
just a
kids behave.
morality judgment.
Yeah, it's a morality judgment. Um, he's so they're like the naughty list is a myth though, and he's like, I thought so too. And then I looked deeper, and he's like, I made an algorithm that compiled a naughty list basically by looking at social media and stuff and seeing mentions of kids not getting presents.
And he mentions there's like 13 million or something.
He just said
kids already.
millions.
Which is just kind of also like an image of a baby comes up, and I just want to know what the baby did to be on the naughty list.
Naughty
B,
baby.
want to know how the baby posted about it on social media so it got picked up.
Their parents probably did. I would believe a lot of these are from the parents of like, my kid thinks they deserved a present from Santa. I didn't get him shit.
Santa's real, right?
Why didn't Santa give my kid a gift? My little 1-year-old baby. So Andy is like, this is fucked up. Why does Santa get to decide who gets presents and who doesn't? And Lewis is like, he's always done that. Like, that's the whole thing.
That is literally his gimmick.
And Andy's like, okay, well, Santa didn't give us our gifts. Where are they now? Well, they must still be in the workshop because they weren't delivered to us. And they're like, well, maybe we should go take them back. And Dolce's like, no, this is crazy. This is not the same thing as like stealing from the school. And Andy says, yes, it is the same. It is the same. It's the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take Christmas back. And Dolce says, we don't even know where his workshop is. But Lewis is like, I know where it is, but I want in on this. And they're like, Lewis, you're not even on the naughty list. And he's like, I really want to see the workshop. I've been studying this for so long. I've done so much research. I want to see it. And they're like, okay, you're in. Show us where the workshop is. Andy also has Lewis find some naughty list kids that are like basically in their town so that he can build the best team he's ever made for this heist.
It's really just kind of a bold move to just be like, man, I just learned that this is like legit and there's stuff about it. You can go steal.
Go steal that shit. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's good at it.
He's entitled to it.
He's entitled to it. It's his present.
Yeah.
He deserves it. So now the kids are off to assemble their team. Andy says that in addition to those three, so there's Andy, Dolce, and Lewis, they need a gymnast, an adorable innocent, an animal whisperer, a master of disguise, and a pilot. So he already has a whole plan in his brain, and he needs very specific people to fill out this plan. And he finds them somehow.
It's because he's very talented.
He is. And Dolce says, well, that's only 8 people. Who's the 9th? And he says, the getaway driver. And then we see a girl who's in a race on like some 3-wheelers.
Mm-hmm. This is somehow not gonna come back, really.
No. But they're like driving these little 3-wheel kind of tricycle things down a snowy hill.
Yeah, it's basically sledding, but instead of a sled, it's a tricycle.
And there's wheels, and it's just like not a good idea. And the other 2 kids totally wipe out, but she's awesome and she makes it.
I mean, there's people like, stop, and she goes, I'm gonna run over you instead.
Yeah. So her name is Hyun, and we get to see text. So we get to see text for everybody on the screen.
Yeah, everyone but the initial 3.
Yeah.
I was hoping at some point they would get their own like text.
Yeah, why don't they get like titles like everyone else? Like
I don't
Lewis
know.
is the hacker or something.
Yeah, Lewis, intelligence.
Yeah.
On the reason for the naughty list. There isn't one.
He's not on the naughty list. So Ha-yoon's the getaway driver on the naughty list for reckless driving. It's kind of a weak
reason, but maybe she killed someone. I don't know.
Okay, so now we see the kids are hiding behind a newspaper and they're watching a girl talk to a horse. So the horse is one of those carriage pulling horses. And she's like, "You want to be free, don't you?" And then she lets the horse go and she says, like, "When I say run, you run." And then she lets the carriage horse go. And you see her running away. And we see Rose, the animal whisperer, on the naughty list for unauthorized animal liberation. So it's bad that she's letting these animals go? It's naughty.
It's probably, well, I guess because the morality of animals is not considered in Santa's judgment. Santa is not a fan of animals, apparently. I don't know how the reindeer feel about that.
Santa said that man owns that horse.
Yeah.
Don't let him go.
Ownership. Oof.
Now they're at gymnastics practice. And oh my gosh, Laurel is there. And she's nervous. And she goes to do the uneven bars. But she like biffs trying to get to the high bar. And there's a girl who's being really snotty to her. Her name's Bethany.
Mm-hmm. She's great.
And she's like,
I always love the snotty characters.
Yes. She's like, "Laurel, you suck. And I'm awesome." And then she goes and does the uneven bars and she does amazing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see Bethany, the gymnast, on naughty list for unchecked snobbery.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, for real. The kids go to recruit Bethany and Laurel is like, "7." He's like, "What are you even doing here? What the heck? You're talking to Bethany?
Not here for you."
Oh my god. All right. Then we see a kid. His name is John Anthony. He's my favorite.
He is probably my favorite as well. John Anthony is an icon.
He's so good. He's selling some clothes, which are John Anthony originals. And
he's John Anthony.
And he's John Anthony. And they're like, "Are you sure this is original?" And he's like, "What does that sign say?" It says John Anthony original, doesn't it? Like,
these are John Anthony originals.
Yeah.
Deal with it. That guy over there who's gonna.
He said that hottie over there. I was gonna sell to that hottie over there for $250, but I'll give it to you for $150.
God's sales. He's got the sales.
He does.
Yeah, he's the master of disguise.
And he's fabulous. He like, as it shows his little words, like whatever screen grab, he like flips his scarf.
Yeah.
And it says John Anthony, master of disguise, on the naughty list for unknown. Like, they don't know why.
For him, they put all the tropes of fashion designer in like one kid.
Yeah.
It's all of them, all of the tropes.
Yeah. Which is funny. It's funny too, like they really don't know why he's on the naughty list right now.
Yeah.
But he is.
It gets talked about later, basically.
I know, it's interesting. Like the movie's like, "No, we're gonna give this kid some character development." Like, not everybody gets it, which makes sense. There's literally 8 kids. There's one adult. He doesn't need character development, really. So there's 8 kids. You can't flesh all of them out. John Anthony is one of the most fleshed out of the crew, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree with that. Out of the people that are not the core people.
Yeah, Rose also gets a little bit character development. Like, she's not much, more than others. Like Albert, nothing.
Nothing.
Lewis, nothing. Ha-yoon, nothing. Like, John Anthony gets time. Obviously, our main 2.
Main 3, I would even say.
Oh, Laurel too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy and Laurel,
like their spoilers. Laurel becomes part of the team.
Yeah, which just makes sense. Like, it's actually not that surprising when you think about it. Like, Andy and Laurel's relationship really fleshes out. Andy has huge character growth. Dolce has some character growth. And then, like, yeah, which it makes sense. It's too big of a cast for everyone to be, like, super important and in depth, you know? Okay, so cut to the basement. All of the recruits are there. John Anthony is hating this. He's like, "Why are we in a basement?" And Rose says, "Basements are a good place to find rats." And John Anthony says, "I hate everything you just said."
He is just so above this. I don't know why he really took this on.
He wants his Christmas present.
Yeah.
And also, Andy's really good at talking people into things. So Albert is also there. He's back. He uses his cuteness to get a cookie.
Yeah, people are like, why is he here? And it's just like, that's the reason why.
Yeah, he says, thanks, sucker, again.
He's the adorable innocent.
Yeah, so we see Albert, the adorable innocent, on naughty list for abusing his cuteness.
He does do that.
He is pretty cute, too.
Mm-hmm.
So then Laurel runs into Bethany, like, inside of her house, and she's like, why are you here? And Bethany says, oh, I wanted help on my bar routine. And Laurel says, really? And Bethany goes, ew, no, your brother invited me.
Absolutely wrecked.
She's such a bitch. And then Andy's like, oh, hey, Bethany, come on to the basement. And Laurel's like, this is sus. So then Andy goes down to the basement and he's telling them all what's up. Like, we got stiff from Santa, so we're going to go rob the North Pole. This movie's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They laugh him off at first, like, sure, we're going to go rob the North Pole. Yeah, no. And Andy's like, wait. Come on, guys. We all wanted something from Santa. We got nothing this year. If you're okay with that, then leave. But I'm not. He's like, this is a bigger cause, whatever. This is unfair. We got to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show the tiny blocks, which are the Legos. He made like a whole diagram of the North Pole.
Again, I don't get how they had all this time and like energy to map up like a perfect model.
They've been out all day like recruiting people.
Maybe this is multiple days.
It could be, but I really doubt it. Because when they get to the North Pole, it seems like it's like the day after Christmas, you know?
It's really, yeah, really too quick. But whatever.
But it can't be because they spend all day like recruiting and then they have to fly the
Let's
plane.
just not think about it. At some point, we just got to assume that
timeline's unclear. So Santa's workshop is like on the top of this really big hill.
It seems inconvenient, but whatever.
And I wrote, so you mentioned they say like there's a snowball's chance in Florida.
Yeah. So the phrase is like a snowball's chance in hell.
Yeah.
And you can interpret that either that Florida is hot and they can't say the word hell, or you can interpret it as they are saying Florida is hell, which I think is a funnier explanation as a couple of Massachusettsians.
Is that where they are?
They are in Massachusetts.
I didn't know that.
They said that at like one point.
Okay. I believe you.
I was watching for it.
It's not really important.
No, it is very not important.
So we see some of Andy's plan like hash out in this cute little like blueprint animation. They don't use it that much though.
No, that's like it.
Yeah. John Anthony is going to disguise them all as elves. And he's like, can you do it? And he says, of course I can do it. I'm John Anthony. And then Bethany's going to flip across some like endless pit to get to a platform that has the vault, I guess. So then she'll lower the bridge. It's kind of silly, but that's why they need a gymnast. Ha-Yoon is going to drive them away down the hill in their little getaway sleigh. And Andy says, this is risky, but if we pull it off, it'll be the best Christmas we never had.
Aww.
Who's with me?
Come get me.
Upstairs, Laurel is trying to tell her parents that Andy's up to no good. And they're like, no, he's not. But they go to the basement to see what he's up to. And all of the kids like hid their diagram of the North Pole under some like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it's recycling club, which why couldn't they just show the Legos and say we played with these Legos?
You know the gift you got me?
Yeah, I made it into this cool snow hill.
But yeah, I don't, it must be confidential. They'd be like, oh, you're obviously creating a one-to-one replication of Santa's workshop and are going to go fly yourself there to go steal everything. Obviously.
He's like, it's recycling club. We're using the money we raise from recycling to buy a table for the kids in the lunchroom who have no friends. And I'm dedicating it to mom and dad who nourish me with love.
Aww.
All those loser kids are going to get him another table.
Yep.
Oh my God. And they fully buy into it. They're like, oh, sweet Andy. And then they leave.
They're just buying him a new table. Go sit at it alone.
There's not enough tables. They're all the
If
loser
there aren't
kids.
enough tables, that's such a terrible thing for a cafeteria. Wait, what the hell? I didn't put enough thought into this before.
I know, it's hilarious. Okay, back to business. They come up with their allies. Like, how are we gonna get away with like leaving presumably overnight to go rob the North Pole? And Andy's like, you're gonna tell your parents that you're at sleepovers. And you're gonna give them the phone number for Dolce, who has a really good mom voice. And they're like, well, what about Dolce's parents? And she says, I'm one of 5 kids. They won't notice that I'm gone. And then Rose says, I've never had a sleepover since all of my friends are rodents. So my parents are gonna know something's up. And Andy's like,
Oh, Rose.
tell them that you're spending the night in an animal shelter because it's a dog with a hurt paw. And she's like, oh my gosh, is the dog gonna be okay? And he's like, no, it's a fake dog. And she's like, oh my god,
You're not as convincing as Andy about these stories.
And Rose is like, oh my god, my parents are totally gonna buy that. I mean, I just bought it.
Rose is
She's funny.
she has a way with not words.
She loves animals. So it's like nighttime now. The kids are all leaving. They're walking down the street. And as they're walking down, John Anthony goes, can't wait to rob Santa with you.
Just such funny little cute comment.
I love John Anthony. So now it's just like Andy and Dolce. And Andy says, I can't believe none of them asked how we're getting to the North Pole.
It is really wild that none of them asked. Did even like Lewis ask?
No, they just assume they'll find a way. He's like, how could none of them ask me that? Like,
that is the most obvious question.
And he's like, I do have a plan to get to the North Pole, but none of them even asked me. And Dolce's like, wait, yeah, but also how? Cut to Andy going to work with his dad, and dad's like, wow, I'm surprised you wanted to come to work with me. And Andy's like, of course. I wanted to see what a checks note card manager of cargo operations and distribution does. Like, he couldn't remember his dad's job.
Valid. That's a lot of words.
Yeah. And dad's like, really? And he's like, fine. I just wanted to get away from Laurel. And dad's like, I used to fight with my brother too. But really, I just wanted him to like me because I looked up to him. And Andy's like, wow, Dad, that's a great story. Not really sure how it applies to me, but it's a great story.
Andy's such a dick in this.
He is. And then Andy's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, Dad. And he sneaks somewhere else. And he goes and sees an adult man sleeping on the couch. And we see Bruno, the pilot, a grown up. Naughty list doesn't apply.
Yeah, it shouldn't. If he was on the naughty list, I'd be confused.
So then Andy scares him awake. And he says, you, Bruno, you saw a flying reindeer? And Bruno's like, yeah, they won't let me fly again until I get a psych eval. And Andy says, I'll get you proof of reindeer existing. And Bruno's like, I'm in.
I like the way that you said that. It's just like reindeer exist, not like flying reindeer. It's just generic reindeer.
Well, he doesn't even say that. He just says, I'll get you proof of what you saw. But yeah, he takes him to just an actual reindeer.
It's like, here you go.
This hit your plane in the sky, didn't it? Bruno's like, I'm in. Which he doesn't have his license anymore because he needs a psych eval, but he's flying all of these kids.
He commits several crimes.
Yeah, he's really just an idiot.
Out of everyone in this film, he is the most guilty.
He's just dumb.
Yeah, that's a crime in this.
But we are glad that there's an adult flying a plane.
An adult who's probably trained. Actually doing correct flying stuff.
He's actually a pilot and he was trained to do this, but he's also kind of stupid. But they did need to explain how they got to the North Pole. The writers didn't just cop out on that, so that's good. All right. So then Dolce calls Andy and she's like, bad news, Bethany's out.
Dun dun dun.
Oh my gosh, what? Bethany whined to her parents to get the phone that she wanted. That's what she was missing from Santa, was a phone. So she's not doing the plan anymore. She's like, I already got my phone.
Yeah, honestly, good for Bethany. She got what she wanted out of this.
Which is so crazy because we saw them like presumably last night and it's just the next day. She whined to her parents that night.
She's that good. We never see Bethany again, by the way.
No, we don't.
So they're like, we still need a gymnast because obviously that's the only possible solution to getting over this like 10-foot gap.
Maybe they should just bring a plank of wood.
That would work. Maybe they should just like get an arm that can go hook the drawbridge arm lever and pull it.
That would have been smart.
Yeah, but instead they have to have someone risk their life.
Exactly. Yeah. So Dolce's like, let's do Laurel. And Andy's like, no, that's our only choice. So then we cut to Andy trying to convince Laurel to help out, but Laurel's like, no. And then Andy says,
he's like, hey, Bethany was going to do it, but got scared.
Yeah.
And I know you, Laurel, you're too scared. This is going to be too scared for you. But I know this girl, Yanni, who's really good at this type of stuff. And Yanni, let me tell you, he's going to do it for us. But I like you, Laurel, a little more. So you have the chance to get in on the ground level.
Get your alter ego Yanni to do it, Laurel.
Yeah, Laurel, but naughty and cool is
Yanni. Andy just really gasses up Yanni. It's Andy and Yanni.
That's why the parents named him like that.
He's gassing up Laurel that she can do it. He's like, yeah, Bethany chickened out, but you're so cool that I know you could do it. And Laurel's like, fine, I'll do it, but only to rub it in Bethany's face.
Doing it for the right reasons.
Heck yeah. Woo! I mean, she's not on the naughty list, so she doesn't really have any skin in the game. And then, so their mom calls Dolce, this is part of the plan, to get Laurel an excuse. What's Andy's excuse? They're like, we got to set up Laurel with an alibi that she's at a sleepover. What did they also set Andy with an alibi? They don't explain it.
They probably said, hey, he's going to go sleep with Dolce, and Dolce is going to sleep with you.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, mom's on the phone with Dolce. She thinks it's Bethany's mom. I don't know why they decided Bethany was going to be their like excuse person. Maybe that's like the only person
that makes
their age. And I bet if like Laurel's had sleepover was with her friends before, I'm sure the mom has already talked to the other moms.
That's probably what it is.
So like we need someone new. So
I thought they hated each other.
Yeah, the mom's like, I thought you guys hated each other. Anyway, Dolce like convinces the mom that everything's fine, and Andy also like does really good at talking the mom down because it's Andy. He can talk anyone down. All right, cut to them like walking into where the airplane is in like slow motion, and it's just like the whole gang together. It's a cool shot. It's fun. And Bruno comes in like, what the heck are you guys doing? You're gonna get me caught. Like, you have to be quiet. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. We just got caught up in the moment. And then the plane takes off. On the plane, John Anthony is still making the outfits. And Andy's like, how's it going? And he's like, fuck off, Andy. I'm working.
Pretty much. He's actually quite rude about it.
I love him, though. And then Rose comes over and he's like, hey, John Anthony, are you okay?
John Anthony.
And he goes, can you keep a secret, Rose? And she goes, does horned lizard squirt blood from its eyelids when it's threatened? He goes, I don't know. And she goes, yes. And John Anthony says, I have no idea what I'm doing. Everything I've ever made is just a copy. I'm a fake. I'm a fraud.
Shout out John Anthony. That's why he's on the naughty list. And that is, he just is literally plagiarizing all of his fashion.
I'm saying, like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
I
was
like, not caught for this.
That's so true. But he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. He does know how to sew. Yeah. He does know how to make clothes. He just doesn't design them. And he's claiming he's designing them.
And he probably legally could get away with it by just saying, I originally make these myself. No one else is making them. Other people are designing them.
So you just like say, oh, I pulled inspiration? Because like, I'm sure artists do that all the time. Anyway, he says, I don't even know what elves wear. I just made this up. And Rose says, isn't that what an original is?
It is.
And John Anthony goes, you don't know anything. Like, no, Rose is definitely onto something. He's like, go try this on. But he literally made these originals.
Mhm.
But I think he was just saying, like, I'm worried these aren't going to be good because I've never made anything original before. So Rose leaves to go try on the outfit. And then all the kids are talking about, like, what they wanted from Santa. So Dolce's like, oh, I can't wait to get my archery set. And Andy says, won't your dads be mad that you have an archery set? And she goes, at least there'll be something. Damn.
Yeah.
I think she's just really, really desperate for their attention. So her not telling them that she was disappearing for a night, she doesn't even care if she's in trouble.
It's not a good look, but at least it's not the first gay characters.
Like absent others.
Yeah, imagine if this is what Disney was promoting it. This is our first Disney Channel original movie. Gay characters. They're absent parents.
They ignore their middle child. Ha-Yoon wants bouncy shoes so that she can be like a kangaroo on Cold Broom.
Ayun is just like there.
She's really there.
The least character of all of these.
She's there for like adrenaline. She's like, I want to bounce.
I just want to jump. It'll be fun.
I just want to be like a kangaroo. These are children. Like, remember those like moon shoes?
Yeah,
I wanted to try those. Did you ever have those?
I don't. I think I went to a friend who had them, but they just don't work.
I'd believe that. Yeah. Albert wants a drum set. Pretty cool.
Pretty good. Pretty standard. Pretty normal. And I get why a parent wouldn't want to get that.
Yeah, 100%. Rose wants an albino like boa constrictor.
Yeah.
What the hell, Rose?
Yeah. Rose knows what she wants.
Laurel isn't on the naughty list, and they're like, why aren't you on the naughty list? And she's like, I don't know, I like following the rules. Like, imagine being bullied.
You have to be a little bit naughty.
All the naughty kids are like, why the fuck are you on the naughty list, you loser?
Like, why are you here?
She's like, I like following the rules. And Andy is like, well, rules sometimes get in the way of what's right, or I don't remember exactly what he said. But he's like, breaking the rules isn't all that bad, though, right? And like, I get away with it. Like, I don't know. It's Andy's mindset that we talked about earlier, that he feels like he's entitled. He feels like
he's entitled to this stuff. Why should his Christmas be ruined when he hasn't done anything that hasn't been anything he's not entitled to? Since he's not actually entitled to stuff.
Yeah. He's very much, and justify the mean, I feel like I'm justified in doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then Rose comes out in her elf costume, and it's so cute. I love the costumes that they wear.
It's very fun.
Yeah. And everyone loves it. And John Anthony's like, oh my god, everyone likes my outfits. Cool. Now it's like nighttime. So they've been flying like through to the nighttime, and they're almost there. And Andy's like, make sure you keep your hats on so they don't see your ears, because if they see you don't have pointy ears, we're caught. And then Bruno, who's flying the plane, is like, come on, guys, I want you to see something. And they all go to the cockpit, and they see the Northern Lights. And it's amazing.
Wow, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
You're beautiful.
And then they get a call, like, over the pilot, like, intercom thing. That, like, hey, who are you? You're an unauthorized flyer. And Andy's like, Bruno, tell them they have mechanical issues and you need to land. And Bruno's like, my plane is sick.
It is honestly, that's a fun little stupid joke where everyone's just like, you said your plane is sick?
He's just stupid. And then Albert's like, I got this. And he like pulls something out of the controls.
He just literally grabs a random button that he sees and rips it
out. And he fucking breaks the plane. And Bruno's like, okay, yeah, we need to land right now. Like, that's bad. So they land. And the cops come. And they're surrounded by the cops. And they come on the plane to investigate. And the kids are like hiding behind boxes. And before they find the kids, they like, oh, I found the thing that's broken. It's literally the like one piece that Albert ripped out. Like, oh, well, this is why. And Bruno's like, oh. And they said, well, we can fix it for you. It'll only take a couple hours. And he's like, cool, thanks. And then the kids come out and they're like, all right, you hear that? We got 2 hours. They like take that so literally, like it's literally just an estimate from a mechanic. But he's like, 2 hours exactly. Let's synchronize our watches.
Which, I mean, at a minimum, at least then they have something synchronized to go off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a very just indescript timer that they are codifying.
Yeah.
They
All
can't
right.
be like, oh, we're too late if it's like 5 minutes late or
Mhm.
anything, or 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
But it's better to be synchronized somewhere.
Yeah, so then they walk through the woods to get to Santa's like North Pole workshop, whatever. It takes like 20 minutes to walk there because they show the watches. I feel like they stay pretty consistent with how much time is
Honestly, the amount
passing.
of time that passes, I never wasn't watching this too carefully, but never noticed any time where the jump felt unnatural, which is
No,
rare for a film
and
like
I never
this.
felt like, oh, that's way longer than 2 hours. Like I believe that it took two
Yeah.
hours.
Like some steps may have taken less than 2 hours, but those people are generally waiting around anyways.
Yeah,
So it makes sense.
yeah. Um, so one of them's like, I can't wait to meet Santa. And they're like, we can't meet Santa. We're not here to meet him. We're like trying to steal his shit.
You don't want to meet the Santa man.
Yeah. So they get to the workshop and it's awesome, right? Or they see like the big hill of like North Pole. And the northern lights are above it and everything. Like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And they're all like so giddy about it. Like while they're walking through, they're like, oh my god, this is so cool.
I mean, it would be that cool.
Yeah. And Laurel's like shocked it's even real. And Andy's like, you thought it wasn't real, but you came anyway? And Laurel's like, yeah, I wanted to like prove you wrong or something. I don't know. Albert goes ahead of them and will tell them if anything's out of the ordinary. So he goes to the gate and there's like one elf guard at the gate and she opens it and she's like, oh my god, it's a human kid. And he starts crying.
Yep. Just starts immediately bawling. He's the only one not in an elf costume. I'm curious
Yeah.
what would have happened if he was.
Well, he's not supposed to be disguised as an elf.
Yeah.
They're like, why are you here? And he's like, I got separated from my mom and I don't know where I am.
It's
He's
very
crying.
good at laying on the fake tears and
Yeah.
seems so sad.
And the elf's like, I should call this in, but then Albert cries harder. And she's like, I'll call it in later. Let's get you inside. And he's like, do you have Coco? And she's like, of course we have Coco.
Something that's kind of wild. I just want to say this now. There's no like side plot with Albert after this. He just
No,
gets
they show him like twice and he's just like
sitting
in there. And the elf falls asleep, and I think he falls asleep too.
Yeah, he's just there.
He's just there. And they fully just leave the gate open and the kids sneak in. This is a horrible guard.
To be fair, what are they usually guarding? People don't know this exists.
That's true. So they're like in the North Pole, they see all the cameras, and Andy tells Lewis to go disarm the cameras. So Lewis goes off to do that. And then Hyun and Rose are sent off to find the reindeer stables to secure a getaway sleigh.
So everyone is now split up into what's going to be essentially their final groupings.
So Albert's back at the beginning, distracting the elf at the gate.
The pilot's back with the plane.
Yep, while the mechanics work on it. Lewis is out looking for the security controls so he can turn off the cameras. And Hyun and Rose are doing the reindeer and sleigh stuff. And then we have
John Anthony, Andy, Dolce, and Laurel all together to do the main task.
Yeah, the four of them are going to go do the robbing. Yeah. Cool. They're still just in awe of everything they see. And also they notice that like no elves are around. They're like, why is this place so quiet? Maybe they're resting after Christmas because they just worked really hard.
Take. It's nighttime.
Yeah. And John Anthony's like, did I make these outfits for nothing? And then we see like some time passes a little bit and they end up at some like banquet hall. They enter and there's like a huge party going on.
Everyone in town.
All the elves are there.
And they all stop and look at them.
Literally the music cuts.
It's a classic record scratch moment.
The DJ's like, what's a track? Who the fuck are those kids? They're like, oh no, we don't look anything like them.
They are all kids, and everyone else there is adults.
Yeah.
And I don't get how that's not like brought up at all. Because that's at a minimum, that should be something that's there. But Andy just goes like, "Hey guys, we were trying to get back in from Cleveland, and we were doing some mall duty,
We
and
got
like
delayed.
got delayed. Like our sleigh broke.
Yeah, because they're like,
Just
who
give
are
us
you
some
guys?
slack. We're here to like rest."
And they're like, hell yeah, you're here to party. This is gonna be the greatest
Andy
party
just knows how
ever.
to talk his way out of a bag.
I can't believe they believe it.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. So they all kind of get separated at the party a little bit. And John Anthony gets praised for his outfits. The elves are like, oh my gosh, you made these outfits. They're so cute. And John Anthony's like, oh my god, they like my outfits. It's so cute. I love John Anthony. Andy's like, we do not have time for this. And then he like finds a door that has giant letters of like leads to Santa's workshop. But he's like, oh my gosh, there it is. But the others are gone. He like turns around and they're just off enjoying the party because they're like, this party's dope.
Mhm.
Okay, let's enjoy it for a little bit. And he goes, oh, this is not part of the plan. So we see what the girls are up to at the stables. They see some reindeer. And Rose tells Hayu not to rush in since they need to gain your trust. Like the reindeers are finicky. But Hayun, of course, rushes in anyway. She's all about adrenaline.
It just is all gas, no brakes.
100%. Hayun sees Dasher. She's like, oh my gosh, you're Dasher. You're like the Dasher.
Like the third most famous reindeer.
I just realized too, she chooses Dasher, like fast.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast. Dasher gets spooked and goes to kill Hayun, but Rose steps in and saves her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dasher would have been a murderer, but whatever.
Yeah. So we check in on Albert. He's chilling. And then we check in on Lewis. He's looking for security. No one's around.
Yeah. He's like going through around a house and like, nope, that's maintenance. Nope.
Janitorial. Like,
yeah.
whatever.
Oh, here's security. Oh, I can just walk right in.
Back at the party, John Anthony eats some food. He's like, this is amazing. This is the best bibinka ever, which must be a cultural food.
Let me Google it. I have my computer.
He's like, don't tell my grandma I said that.
It is Filipino coconut cake. Yeah, so that makes sense because he's Filipino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there you go. Cool. Maybe we need to try some bibinka sometime.
It sounds good. And then Dolce finds some elves singing like a Spanish Christmas song. And she joins in and sings with them, and it's really cute.
Yeah, it's all the cultural
which makes sense. They deliver all over the world.
Yeah.
And Laurel cheers Dolce on after she sings.
Well, this whole time, Andy's just kind of like pissed that everyone's moved away from the job, which I get. You guys came here for a mission.
Yeah. And then we see Albert again for like 2 seconds, and the elf fell asleep. And we see he's looking at the time. We have an hour left.
Yeah.
So it's already been an hour. Andy's like, we gotta go. But the elf that greeted them in the beginning is like, no, stay. You deserve this. You work so hard all year. And then they start a conga line.
This is just like all a time wasting mechanism, but like one that I've seen other ones do where it's like the time inside is different than the time outside. You've wasted 5 years of your life.
Really?
I mean, I've seen that in multiple pieces of media or something like that. And that feels like what they're kind of going for me, where it's just like an endless party that just zaps your life away. But that's not what's really happening. It's like one-to-one time. It is
not that supernatural.
No.
Andy's like, we're in the conga line now? How do we get out of this? Anyway, back to Lewis. This is when he finds the security. He goes in and he's like, okay, which cameras do I turn off? And then he like sees that they're all at the party in the conga line. And he's like, what? What are they doing?
I'm surprised Lewis isn't more like offended by that.
So all the kids are like next to each other in the conga line and they're like, isn't this awesome, Andy? And Andy's like, no, we have to go. And then they step out of the conga line and they go to the workshop. And Lewis is like, thank God. It took him long enough. And he goes to turn the cameras off, but he can't figure it out. And then, there's a security guy coming. So he has to hide under the desk, and he didn't turn the cameras off. So Lewis had one fucking job, and he fails.
Yeah.
He's
and
the only
this is
one
why
that
he
fails.
shouldn't have come. They should have recruited a replacement Lewis. Yeah, he had the intel initially that got him all the plans that made it all work.
I shouldn't say he's useless. He literally got them here. Like,
yeah, they would have this whole plan could not have worked without Lewis.
Yeah.
And specifically Lewis.
Yeah.
But also, you didn't need to be here for game day.
Yeah, for real. Okay, meanwhile, the 4 kids that are doing the stealing, they have to go up like 1,000,000 stairs, which sucks. Makes sense though. It's up on a giant hill. You gotta get up.
Get up. They don't have like magical sleighs up there.
And then they finally make it to the top. And Andy's like, "Fuck, the cameras are still on.
Lewis
was supposed to turn them off." So Andy tries to call Lewis on the walkie-talkie, and the security elf, can hear it. And like Lewis almost gets caught, but he like gets in the vent or something, so he doesn't get caught. I don't know. So they can't contact Lewis. He's like, okay, well, we have to take out the camera ourselves. So Andy tries to throw a couple snowballs at it, and then like Laurel tries to, and they can't hit it. And then
sibling rivalry, yeah.
And then Dolce hits it first try.
Yeah, because she has the aim. That's why she wants a bow and arrow.
She wants an archery kit because she is actually really good at aiming.
Like, I'm Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah. So they get into the workshop, and it's amazing. And they see their names show up on the wall. It's like, at a train station where the letters flip the little click, click, click.
Yeah. It is what like the kayak logo is for the company.
Yeah.
It is just one of those flip boards.
Yeah.
Old school fashion, clickety clackety. Here's all the letters it can be.
Yeah, they start seeing their names show up on the wall, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's the naughty list. Which kind of rude. I don't know if this is easier for Santa. Maybe it is, because it's like, okay, these are the kids' presents you don't take.
That's probably easier. There's more nice kids than naughty.
Yeah. And they're like, wow, I guess we really are on the naughty list. And Andy's like sad about it. Because I guess a part of him's like, maybe it was a mistake, or maybe just seeing it in your face of like, yeah, you're a naughty kid. Just sucks, So then they go through a really fancy door, and they hit a button, and the door opens. It's just that easy. They just hit a button.
Yep. Sometimes this movie is really just simple with its logic like that. It
Here's
just
a
goes.
button.
Just accept it.
And they go in. There's like an ice cave. It's an ice cave, and they walk to the cave, and they see the platform that has the vault, and you have to jump across it.
Just like the diagram said.
Yeah. How does Santa get across?
Santa's in the vault. Maybe they have a key.
They have like a button they can press.
Maybe Santa's just a gymnast.
Oh, hell yeah. So, okay. It's a jump. It's too far to just jump it. Like, you have to use some ice
too far to just jump it. But we should also say, it's not that big. It's like...
But if you fall like forever.
If you fall, you die.
Yeah.
But it's like 15 feet.
Oh, across?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's not that long. A talented long jumper could make it.
If they have enough room. It's also icy. Like...
Not the part by the bridge. That's not...
It's probably icy.
But
it's a cave of ice.
It would be dangerous, but I'm just saying, like, it's theoretically possible. I think you can agree with me on that.
It's just kind of weird. Like, it's
they
a little bit of a... They could have
just found a different way to pull this lever and not bring Laurel, but whatever.
Yeah. Or bring a plank of wood.
Yep.
Bring a ladder. Come on. Laurel is scared. And understandably, it's scary. And she's like, this is not at all like gymnastics. Or maybe I just wrote that. This is not at all like gymnastics. And Andy says, hey, it's okay. Like, you don't have to do this. I understand it's really scary. We're going to find another way. And John Anthony's like, what the hell? That was her whole role.
Yeah, if I was John, I'd be pissed. Like, I made outfits that
for like
I didn't need
7 kids
in like one night.
Yeah. And they're all really cute.
How did he even have their measurements?
He took their measurements probably. He probably had a tape measure and took all their measurements.
Well, how did it work for Laurel? She wasn't supposed to be on the team.
And maybe they're the same size, her and Bethany.
Evil.
enough. Andy's like, hey, shut up. It's okay, Laurel. Like, I know you could have made it if you tried, but you don't have to. He says the only reason you don't like make your landings in gymnastics is because you let Bethany get in your head. Like, you're amazing. You're so good at everything. Like, you're the best person I know.
What percent of this is him being a good sibling, and what percent of this is him trying to get the job done?
I honestly think he wasn't expecting her to do it, and he was just being a good sibling.
Okay.
Because he like turns around and he's like, I gotta
thought
come
that
up with
was
a plan.
part of it.
You think this whole thing's manipulation?
Partially. I think he may believe it at heart, but also thought this will get her where she needs to be.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Agree to
that's what the
disagree.
movie is going for.
That's what I was going for.
He goes, everyone knows you're awesome, so why don't you? And then they turn around and he's like, we gotta come up
That's
with
a
plan
kind of a
B.
banger of a line. I want to keep that in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So he's like, I'll come up with something, but then Laurel's like, no, I got this. And she rips off her elf costume and reveals like a really sparkly red
John Anthony
leotard.
did himself.
I don't know if this was John Anthony's creation. It might be. It might be the thing she got for Christmas, or was it?
It is not the one she got for Christmas.
Okay. Well, if John Anthony made this, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then she jumps and she does some uneven bars that are just icicles sticking out of the wall. I don't know how those are strong enough.
Yeah, they're pretty thin because they're the size of, normal uneven bars. So they definitely would break.
It's so dangerous. And they're slippery.
Yep.
So, like, how is she even gripping this thing?
And she is doing this over death.
Yeah, 100%. And she does like 3 unnecessary and impossible backflips and sticks her landing.
Just a little Loretta Modern.
A little bit. And yay, she did it. Hooray. So she opens up the bridge for them. They go across. And Andy and Laurel hug. And Dolce and Andy are like, oh, hell yeah, you did awesome. You'll make state for sure. But now they don't know how to get in the vault. And they're honestly yelling at Andy. They're like, what do you mean you don't know how to get in the vault?
Yeah, he should have figured that out, but he's
supposed to know. Like, and then Dolce looks at the pictures on the vault and she notices it's a lot of birds. And she's like, there's 12 here. Oh my gosh, it's the 12 days of Christmas. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. And then the one partridge in a pear tree lights up. And so she's like, oh my gosh, it's the song. We have to sing the whole song. And then it like goes away. So they're like, oh shit, we have to sing the whole song front to back, no mistakes.
What a terrible lock. If you're going to show on the lock what you need to say.
I bet they have like a shortcut key that they don't have to do it every time. But then why have this mechanic at all that anyone can get in?
But it is kind of dumb in a fun way, so I'm not going to be mad about it.
Who's going to sing the whole song? It's like so annoying.
Just to get to the naughty kids' toys. I guess it's where everyone's toys is until the end.
And so they're all singing it. All 4 of them are all
4 together.
Singing. And not all of them can sing, which is funny because that's just realistic that like they're not in the same key, which is funny. But I'm like, why do they all have to do it? They could just let Dolce do it. She's actually a good singer. Do they all know all of it? Or maybe they're just banking that collectively they know all of it.
Yeah, that's probably why they all sing, so that if one of them gets wrong, at least someone's got it right.
Not all of the presents are birds.
No, there's 5 golden rings.
A lot of them are birds.
Yeah, it's always very funny how many are birds.
3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Okay, meanwhile, Hyun and Rose are, leading Dasher with a sleigh, which I guess they have 2 reindeer. Because later they have 2 reindeer. I didn't see them here, but it's dark, so I guess they must have 2 reindeer. And Rose makes some reindeer noises. You want to try and make a reindeer noise for us?
Hey, folks, I'm a reindeer.
Okay. That's what she says, too.
I googled how many birds there are in the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
So there's 23 at total. But if you got every gift each day, like the song says.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You get 184 birds.
It's hilarious. Do you think they get the same gifts over and over? So in the end, you have 12 partridges partridges in 12 pear trees.
Yeah.
This guy's horrible. I'd break up with him so fast.
He's not being appreciative of your time and space.
There's so many like drummers.
How many drummer boys do you need?
The rings, I'm like, okay, keep the rings coming. Like I can sell those. Pay off the drummers for their time. Okay. So Rose makes her reindeer noises and calms down the reindeer, and Ha Yoon says, "You're fire with animals." And Rose says, people think I'm weird, but animals don't judge me. If you show them love, they show you love. Animals don't care if you're not cool. And then Ha Yoon says, "I think you're cool. I mean, you're weird, but like a cool weird."
Which good positivity in this movie, actually, I want to say. Yeah, normalize being weird and being cool is not exclusive.
Yeah, the kids are actually, for the most part, pretty supportive of each other.
They're all on the naughty list, so what the heck?
It's really just John Anthony that's kind of rude to people, but everyone's so supportive of John Anthony.
And Bethany.
Oh, Bethany, well, she left the group,
Yeah.
so. Anyway, Ha Yoon's like, "I can't wait to fly Santa's sleigh," and Rose is like, "They only fly for Santa."
This was not explained at any point.
She can just tell, because she's the animal whisperer.
So apparently she can talk to animals.
She can.
All of them.
She has the confidence of animals.
Yes. The confidence of an animal.
Back to the 4 kids singing. They're on the 4th day. They only have 30 minutes. And they kind of, at one point, they start singing faster. At security, Lewis is still stuck. And the elf finds the walkie-talkie and he hears Ha Yoon being like, "Oh, plan's going well." And he's like, "Oh, no, you don't." So the Popo knows.
Yep, everything's about to go haywire.
Yeah. Also, okay, back at Bruno, the
first time we go back to Bruno, the pilot.
Yeah. The mechanics are like, "Hey, guess what? Plane is fixed sooner than we expected, so you can go. You can leave. Why are you even here?" And he's like, "I don't know. Are you sure the mechanic did well? Like, can we even trust this dude?" And the mechanic says, "The dude you're talking about is the head mechanic and also my wife. So yeah, we can trust her."
Yeah, when you insult the wrong person.
And Bruno's like, "Get fucked."
I gotta remember, everyone thinks he doesn't have anyone traveling with him.
Check your sexism, Bruno.
He's just like, "Oh no. Have to inventory my cargo."
And they're like, "What, you have to do a full inventory?" And he's like, "Yep, I have to do a full inventory."
And you didn't think to use the time when it was broken to do it?
Nope. Meanwhile, the kids finally finish the song. They like are sitting down now. Is the song really that long? That they're like, "Oh my god. That was a nightmare."
Yeah.
So the vault opens. Hooray. The vault's pretty empty since like the only toys left are the naughty kids toys, which makes sense to me. They look for all their stuff. Dolce finds her archery set. Andy finds his gaming system. And they also get the rest of it, including Rose's boa constrictor.
Yeah.
There's a big snake in the bag.
Which, at the end of this movie, is not explained where that snake goes. So hopefully the snake is fine.
Santa takes care of it. Although he's just
Did
living
Santa
in a vault.
birth this snake?
You mean birth? Like out of his pussy?
Actually, it's Santa, so it'd be his sussy.
I guess he could just get an egg and hatch it. He sits on it. Let's keep it warm.
This podcast has gotten a little off the. I'm like fading in and out.
Okay, so Laurel also sees Bethany's phone that she wanted and takes it.
Laurel's been corrupted to the naughty side.
Oh my god. John Anthony finds a sewing machine and they're like, "Oh, cool, a sewing machine." And he's like, "This is a very special sewing machine with cool features." And then he hesitates to grab it. And he's like, "Guys, all of my originals are fake." Like, I don't know why he's feeling like he has to admit this right now. This is why he gets the most like character development other than the main people. Yeah. Honestly, I would argue he gets more than Dolce.
Yeah, I would argue that too.
Like, it's kind of wild. And he's like, "All my originals are fake. I'm a fraud." He's like, after today, I know I can make originals now because I made all of the elf costumes. And I promise, when I go big, I'll give you all a 5% discount, but only on sale. Sales only. This is why I love John Anthony. All right, so Hyun and Rose are riding the sleigh now, and they're going really fast. And they get to the workshop, and they pick up the kids. And then the security alarms start going off. Oh my gosh, the Popo's after them.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Man, Lewis really did nothing.
Lewis sucked.
Everyone else got more or less their job done.
Yeah, but again, they wouldn't be here without Lewis, so we gotta give him credit for that. Lewis runs away from the security, and he hides in like a big hollow ornament that turns into like a hamster ball. Well, I mean, it doesn't turn into it. He just starts walking around in it like a hamster ball, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to do one of those big balls. Have you ever been in a big hamster ball?
I have not. That would be fun.
Wouldn't
we should do
cool?
that sometime.
We should. It looks so fun. Albert hears the alarms too, all the way at the like gate house, so he has to do shit too. The kids are on the sleigh and they stop when they see the Popo, like they created kind of a barricade, you know? The Popo did.
Mm-hmm.
And Ha-yoon tells them to hold on, and she just charges right through.
Literally runs them over.
Literally, well, they kind of get out of the way,
but like
they're not a very good.
Was they're running over?
They're not a very good barricade when they just move.
I mean, how good do elf cops need to be?
Yeah, they like never get people here. They don't know what to do.
They don't have all these procedures set in stone.
Yeah. In the chase, Dolce shoots an arrow at a reindeer balloon with her archery set, and it makes a fart noise. And then it flies into the cops on their snowmobiles. Those guys are dead.
A fart noise. And yeah, she killed them.
She definitely killed them. And why did it make a fart noise? Imagine that's the last thing you hear before you die.
Is a balloon farting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
They ride by a giant like snow ice sculpture of Santa. This will come back. They keep losing the cops somehow. I don't know. But then they get trapped in a corner. Way to go, Ha-yoon.
Yeah, basically, Ha-yoon's like, I'm just going to Tokyo drift around the statue like 20 times.
20 times.
And the cops are like getting dizzy. And then I'm going to curl off onto this road, not realizing the road, it's literally a dead end.
It's literally a dead end. She's so stupid sometimes. And then Lewis shows up in his ball and he like runs into the giant sculpture, which apparently was not structurally sound. And it just crushes.
All he has to do is roll his little ornament into the statue and it crumbles. What if the sled went into that? The sleigh.
Those cops are definitely fucking dead, right?
Well, I would say that, but we do actually see them pop out.
I know. But they definitely should
should be dead, even more than the motorcycle crash ones.
Yeah.
Which we don't see those guys come back.
Nope. Lewis really saved the day, but also he like passes out. Just kidding. He's fine. They get him up. I don't know why that was necessary. And Andy says, "You saved us." But then, the cops pop out of the snow. Guess they didn't die. We gotta run. Albert locked the elf that was a guard at the gate. He locked her in her house. Like he put a candy cane through the doors. And he's eating chocolate, and the shot of him lifting up to eat the chocolate to me looked like he was lifting up a cigarette with a lighter to like light a cigarette, which would be such an Albert's character if he wasn't a kid.
Albert was just smoking a cig. It would be so funny.
Just lights up a cigarette as the elf is pounding at the door to get out. Like that would be so funny. But no, he's a child. He's just eating some chocolate. The sleigh finally comes to get him, and he like grabs on as they're going by. And Andy says, "Not even Santa could stop the Naughty Nine." And then Laurel says, "Who wants to take a selfie?" And Andy's like, "What? Oh my gosh, is that the phone Bethany wanted it? You took it?" And Laurel says, "I didn't steal it. I earned it. I got us in the vault, not Bethany. This feels good, okay? I feel good right now." And Andy's just like, holy fuck. Like, I fucked up. Which is crazy how instantaneous he's like, this isn't right.
His whole entire moral world changes immediately.
Because he corrupted his sister.
Yep. Which is just Kind of dumb.
I guess because like his whole thing has been like, we've been entitled to all of this, but Laurel took something that she was never entitled to. And he's like, wait a minute. Wait, no. We shouldn't have done this at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all smile for a selfie, except for Andy. He is not smiling. He's not happy. Back at the plane, Bruno's taking inventory of all of his yellow envelopes. He's like, yep, 151 yellow envelope, 152. But the mechanics are like, you gotta go. Like, get the fuck off of our runway, dude. And the kids show up and see that the plane is starting to head down the track without them.
Which somehow the reindeers catch up to a literal plane.
Yeah, so Hyun's like, Bruno, we gotta get next to the plane and then we can get pulled on. Remember in Toy Story when Bullseye was running next to a plane? Bullseye was going as fast as a plane.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And this reindeer was going fast.
People don't realize how fast planes move.
They go really fast because then they have to fly.
Yeah. The hell?
At least maybe like the reindeer are magical, right? Presumably they can fly and shit. Maybe they can run really fast too because they need to fly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The kids start getting on the plane. They're like right next to the door now on the sleigh. And they're getting in the plane and the kids start jumping and the Popo are still after them. And Andy's about to jump on. It's just him and Hyun left. And he's like, Hyun, you go first. This is my plan. I'll be the last one to get off. And so they do. And Andy's the only one left, but he doesn't get on the plane. What? He like hits the brakes on the reindeer.
How do you brake a race? This is so dumb.
We just like pull on the reins and they stop. But like, he stops the sled.
Mm-hmm.
And the plane just takes off without him. And the kids are shocked. I would be too.
Yeah, it's like the literal leader of our plan who's the whole time's been like, we gotta focus on doing this. It's just like, good, you guys go. And also, you don't get your gifts.
He has all of the presents and he stayed behind.
So rude, honestly.
What the hell?
Naughty list.
Popo gets him. So the kids on the plane are still in shock. And I forgot who said this, but they said, why would your brother do us like that? I think it was Albert. I think Albert says, why would your brother do us like that?
Kind of rude, not gonna lie.
Laurel's like, we have to go back. And they're like, this doesn't make sense. This is his plan. And Dolce says, we have to go back for him, even though he betrayed us. And they're like, you just want your bow? And she's like, this was never about the bow. I'm the middle child between twin boys. And everyone has a person except for me. Andy is my person. I'll follow him everywhere. Like, I'll help him steal shit.
Attitude, but whatever.
Yeah, she has trauma. She needs to see a therapist for real.
Yeah, I do feel kind of weird that her family... I get being one of 5 is weird, but also the fact that she's a uniqueness should have more attention.
Well,
rather than
I get what she's saying, though. She's the only girl, which is going to kind of ostracize you. Like, she's literally in a house full of boys. Her brothers all have their twin that are their exact same age. Yep. They're bonded. And then her dads have each other. So she just kind of always feels singled out.
Yeah.
She's like, Andy's my best friend, and I'm not leaving him behind. All right, so cut to the Popo bringing Andy to Santa. They're like, the others got away, but we got this one. Santa is Danny Glover.
Yep. Believe it or not.
There he is.
Whoa, Santa's black.
Santa's black. Whoa.
And the snow was white. I was confused.
Andy's like, hey, Santa. Yeah, we stole your shit, but like I returned it now, so we good. And Santa snaps his fingers, and the naughty list wall only shows the names of the kids and the heist, which is
the only ones that are naughty so far this year.
Which is like such a baller move from Santa. Like, look what you've done, you little shit.
No, even like words.
And Andy says, no, you can't punish my friends. This is my idea. You can put me on the naughty list forever, but leave them out of it. And Santa says, is this what you want? And Andy says, no, but it's what I deserve. Okay, Here's the thing, though. Andy's like, keep me on the naughty list forever and take them off the naughty list. They were already on the naughty list.
Yeah.
They kind of deserve to be. They haven't done anything to redeem themselves at all.
No one has.
Well, Andy has a little. He
Andy has.
Yeah.
No one else has.
No one else has. Anyway, Santa snaps his fingers again, and Andy's name's still on the wall, and Laurel's name's on the wall. Holy shit. Why is Laurel on the wall? He's like, no. But then the cops go, something's missing.
The phone.
The phone. Oh my God, Laurel still has the phone. Andy says, no, it's not her fault. She's a good person. And the Popo tries to take him away, but Andy breaks away. He's like, hey.
Really bad Popo this whole movie.
They suck. He's like, I don't care about the stuff anymore. I'm going to fix this, okay? And then literally just like that, they bring in the rest of the kids.
That's dumb. This is dumb.
Without Andy, the kids just fall apart. They do not have a single plan. They just showed up and let the cops take them in. And Bruno. Bruno's there too.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, please tell me you didn't come back for all this stuff. And they say, no, Andy, we came back for you.
Aww.
The elf at the gate is the one that brought them in, right? And she's like, what the heck, Albert? You're a part of this? And Albert's like, yeah, I'm 8 years old. Like,
he literally says I'm 8, calling back to our first podcast.
I'm 8. You thought I was here all by myself? Like,
you're the real idiot here.
He's like, what's wrong with you? Really just put her in her place. Laurel asks Andy, like, why'd you do it? And Andy says, because of you. Like, I shouldn't have corrupted you. I'm so sorry, you guys. I always thought that if I didn't get caught, then I wasn't wrong, but it's not true. If we deserved these presents, we would have gotten them from Santa in the first place. But we didn't. And then Laurel gives the phone back to Santa, and she says, sorry, Santa. My brother's very convincing. And he's like, oh, yes, he is.
Oh, ho, ho.
Oh, ho, ho. And then Andy's like, she's off the list now, right? And Santa's like,
nope.
No. You guys,
none of you are. I was lying.
Yeah, none of you are off the list. You guys can get off the list anytime you want. Like, you have the power to change how you act, basically. He's like, I'm not just gonna give you guys a free pass off the list because, like, you didn't steal the presents tonight. You have to make changes every single day and choose to be better, or at least try, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He says, use your powers for good, not naughty. Are you gonna try? And he says, yes, I promise I will try. And then they're both taken off the list, I guess. I guess we just lied. They're taken off the list. But they could get back on the list if they're naughty. Whatever. Time to go home. On their way out, Bruno's like, hey, Santa, can I get a selfie with you?
What is he going to do with this? Just be like, hey, look, I took a picture of Santa. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, like a mall Santa.
Is that Danny Glover?
Yeah, wait. Oh, why did he meet Danny? Why was he dressed up as Santa? Was he filming something?
And he's like, my coworkers are going to love this or something. Like,
yeah, maybe the coworkers will love Danny Glover.
Like, look, I did hit a reindeer with my plane. It's him with a selfie with a guy dressed up as Santa. He's like, I met him.
That is just not going to help the situation at all.
And the selfie transitions into the next scene. They're at home. They're like getting home.
Mm-hmm.
Annie, Dolce, and Laurel are like walking to their houses, which are across from each other. And they're like, well, that worked out the way it was supposed to, I guess. And Andy thanks Dolce for coming back for him, and they do their little handshake again. It's not little, it's a big handshake.
It was a very long handshake.
And Dolce's like, well, my parents probably didn't even notice I was gone. But then cue her dad's running out, being like, oh my gosh, where were you? We were worried sick. And then the one dad hugs the other and goes, oh, she's home. They hug each other in relief instead of running to her. Also, why aren't they mad at her?
Why? Yeah, to me, though, them hugging each other just is indicative of this problem is not solved at all.
Like, thank God the kid we're responsible for is home.
You. I'm comforting you because you're the one in danger, not the one, the kid.
And then Dolce is like, I guess they did notice. And then she runs over and they're like, get over here. And they hug.
She should be in trouble.
She should, but here's the thing: we didn't have enough time
Nope.
for her to like confront her dads about her feelings.
They could have added 15 minutes of this movie, but like it's fine that they did. It just was an underdeveloped character.
Yeah, whatever. So they hug, and all's good. Then Laurel asks Andy if he meant it when he said that she was the best person he knows, and she kind of teases him about it, which is cute. It's like, oh, we like each other now. And then they go home, and the parents are like, "You little shits! Like, where were you?"
I talked to Bethany's real mom.
Yeah, where were you, Laurel? And they don't even ask Andy where he was.
Yeah, Andy.
Maybe his excuse was sound.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, it makes sense that you're home. But Laurel, where the fuck were you?
Gotta also remember, Laurel wasn't like pre-planned like the others. They didn't come up with alibis like in advance.
Yeah. Laurel comes up with a really bad lie. I think she says she had like tea
Performed for the president.
She performed for the president.
What?
Obviously it's a lie. And Andy's like, Laurel, stop. And she's like, oh, thank God. Like, Andy's going to talk me out of this. But then Andy tells the truth. He says they flew to the North Pole to sneak into the Santa's vault, and Laurel didn't even want to, and she hated it.
Now for my favorite part of the whole movie, believe it or not.
Yeah, so
it's got the biggest laugh out of me.
Andy says she didn't even want to, and she hated it. And Mom says, Andy, that's not true. And Laurel says, yeah, I didn't hate it.
She just takes it into like the emotional side.
Like, the mom's like, you're making this up. Laurel's like, yeah, I didn't hate it. It was the best night ever, and I'm glad I went. And Andy says, me too, I'm glad you went too, and they hug. And it's so funny that like this development's happening for the parents who are just like, what is happening? And the mom's like, you think we really believe? And the dad's like, wait. Who cares if it's not true? They're getting along. So they just kind of let it be. I don't know.
And then we get to like the real ending.
Yeah, it says 1 year later, which is good that they didn't get their presents this year because they were naughty.
Yeah.
So we fully expected them to like just get their presents.
Yeah.
Because that's probably what would have happened in most movies. But they didn't. They have to change their ways, okay? So they're at school. It's 1 year later. Andy and Dolce are like walking through the hall, and Andy's like, oh, the day before winter break is the longest day of the year. And then Andy gets called to the principal's office. And he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm being sent there. I've been good like all year. He goes in, and the principal's chair is turned away. And he's like, hey, sir, because this is a different principal, because now
it's a different school. They're in middle school now.
Yeah. He's like, hey, sir, like, I know I've had a bit of a reputation in the past, but, and then the principal turns around, but it's not the principal. It's Santa.
What?
Oh my God.
Plot twist.
Santa's like, Andy, I need your help. I need the Naughty Nine.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's how it ends. It literally just ends right there.
They really sequel baited this movie.
There's probably going to be a sequel, right?
I think so.
There's got to be.
I think there's going to be the Naughty 10 where Santa's a part of it.
Naughty Nine Part 2. Naughty Nine 2.
So how well do you think the sequel's going to go?
Oh, let's talk about this movie. That's the end of the movie. Yeah. I liked it.
I liked it too. It's nothing. It'll be like a B tier movie.
Yeah.
It is. I think part of it is I'm annoyed that it's aimed at a younger demographic, which is fine, but it just some of the enjoyment that I feel like the premise could have had is taken away from like less funny jokes.
For what it is, I feel like it was done pretty well.
Yeah, I think it is a movie that you could do a lot worse on in terms of just throwing it on the TV.
Yeah.
In the Christmas season.
Is it as good as Christmas Again? No. We haven't talked about Christmas Again yet, but we really like that one.
But I think it's probably the second best Christmas DCOM.
It is. Because the other one's
kind of suck.
Their Disney Channel is like lately been making Christmas movies, and they've been doing a good job.
Yeah.
Which good for them, because they really don't have many Christmas movies in their catalog. So like we should change that.
This movie is not something that I think everyone needs to check out. If this movie doesn't sound interesting to you, don't watch it.
You thought it was fun though.
Like, it's fine, is what we're saying. Like, if this does interest you, go for it. There are way worse ways to spend your Christmas season.
Last new DCOM, we had The Hangover for kids, and now we have Ocean's 11 for kids.
And also, Prom Pact was just a John Hughes movie for kids.
Yeah. When are they gonna come up with something original? Because then we had like Under Wraps 2, which was a sequel to a remake.
The next Disney Channel original films that come out are Big City Greens, the movie, which is based on one of the TV shows.
Oh, great. So we're going to know nothing about it.
Yeah. And From the Desk of Zoe Washington, which is based on a great, like, middle school level novels.
Okay.
So neither of those are original concepts either.
Nope.
Although they don't seem to be just old movies for kids. So we'll see.
We'll see. Cool. Well, obviously we don't have a ranking for this because it's new. So we can't tell you how it was in our overall ranking. Probably somewhere in B tier.
Yeah. We don't have any official thing. But our next episode is our mini-sode, actually.
Okay.
We're gonna re-rank the 10 movies that we saw most recently.
Yeah, so we can give you a ranking for the movies we've watched so far compared to this one. Yeah.
So tune into that if you want to see.
Yeah, that comes out in 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week from today that this released. And then the week after that, we will release our Can of Worms episode that we recorded. We have a special guest.
Yes.
So tune in 2 weeks to hear about Can of Worms.
It'll be exhilarating and exciting.
And check out our TikTok where I've been posting some content every now and then.
Email us at the DCOMduo@gmail.com.
Yeah. And thank you for listening. Let us know how you like The Naughty Nine if you watch it. If you're keeping up with the new decons, maybe we're the only people on the planet keeping up with new decons.
Also, do these count as decoms? We have a little bit of an argument about that.
Yeah, tell everyone what you found.
Yeah, basically, for years, for this entire podcast, we've been considering the Wikipedia list, which is not an official source in any sense, as our list of what a Disney Channel original movie is. Because a quick rundown of what we consider a decom. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. Disney rebranded its channel a lot in like the late 90s, and it became like from a premium like HBO like site to an actual cable service. And in doing that, part of their rebrandings was the creation of the term Disney Channel original movie. The first film to actually like advertise with that was initially Northern Lights, but that was still produced in like the old system. We don't consider that one. We consider Under Wraps the first Disney Channel original movie. Way back, let me find, in 2016, Adventures in Babysitting released.
Yeah, that was the 100th.
Which was the 100th decom, and they basically explicitly listed what the 100 before that were. So that's Disney saying, hey, these are the decoms up to this point.
Yeah.
Since then, every movie has been branded with Disney Channel original movie, from Adventures Baby Sweating, not Baby Sweating, Adventures in Babysitting through Under Wraps 2. Then, starting it with the first new one our podcast has covered, Prom Pact,
and then the Summer Party, and now the Naughty Nine.
They've been all listed as Disney original movie,
which we noticed in the title card. It says Disney original movie.
Which, for the moment, we're still considering Disney Channel original movies.
Because obviously these movies still have a distinction from other Disney movies.
Including other Disney Plus movies. There's movies such as Sneakerella, which is like weird to talk about like that, and Phineas and Ferb Candace Against the Universe, which aired on Disney Channel, but
they were specifically Disney Plus.
They are specifically projects. Disney Plus products. So we're saying to this point, if it aired after or during the Disney Channel original movie era, initially on Disney Channel, if that's its premiere, that's our plan for what we're doing.
And that has happened for these last 3 movies. Prom Pact, Summer Party, and Naughty Nine had a premiere on Disney Channel, and then the next day, went to Disney Plus.
So we're going to continue with that as our idea, but if people have complaints or comments about that, we'd love to hear them.
Okay, thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week for our mini-sode, and the week after that for Can of Worms.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. Scenes from our next episode.
Oh, that really opened up a whole can of worms, didn't it?
Hey, fellow citizens of the galaxy, it's your boy, Mike Pillsbury,
Pillsbury.
and this planet sucks, so come and get me.
Bye. Oh my god, is that the Bone?
Oh my god,
My favorite
Barnabas?
cinematic character, the Bone.
Barnabas is a dog that can talk.
Wait. Let me move this key in a bunch of fun directions.
It's not a key, it's a rock.
I feel like we're not doing this justice, but it's very funny. Tune into that episode.
Bye-bye.